So, imagine this. What if you could, like, seriously reduce your risk of dying from any disease? Maybe by half, 50%.
Wow.
And what if this amazing thing was totally free? Something you could do right in your living room.
Yeah, okay, the immediate thought is, sign me up. Right.
Right.
Tell me more. But then, life happens. The big one always comes up. I just don't have the time. It's such a common barrier.
That is precisely the hurdle we're looking at in this deep dive. We're exploring this super efficient exercise method. It's called high-intensity interval training. You've probably heard of it as HIIT.
Hmm.
Think of it as maybe the ultimate shortcut for people who want real health benefits but just can't spend hours working out.
Yeah, absolutely. And our mission today really is to unpack how just, say, 12 to 15 minutes of this HIIT can actually make a significant difference.
Okay.
We're talking boosting metabolism, improving heart health, helping with weight management, and even enhancing cognitive function.
And all from home. No cost.
All achievable right at home, yeah.
Yeah.
Zero costs involved if you don't want there to be.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. For anyone listening who's maybe heard the term but isn't totally sure, what exactly is high-intensity interval training?
Well, the core idea is pretty simple. It's short, very intense bursts of exercise, like really pushing it.
Okay.
And these bursts are followed by brief periods of rest or very low-intensity recovery.
Right.
And its popularity is just, well, it's really taken off, mainly because it's just so time efficient. People want effective workouts, but time is precious.
So it's not like a long jog or a steady bike ride. It's these intense peaks and valleys. What does a basic session look like?
A really common structure, and it works well, is about a minute where you are going all out. Max effort, like you feel you absolutely cannot push any harder.
Okay, 1 minute flat out.
Yeah. And then you follow that immediately with a full minute of complete rest. Just stop, catch your breath.
Zero effort.
Zero effort, exactly. And you just repeat that cycle, that work-rest cycle, several times. Maybe, 6 to 8 rounds for that 12, 15-minute total.
Got it. Max effort, recover, repeat. Simple enough. Now, let's talk impacts. How does this affect our heart? What are the cardiovascular benefits we're talking about?
The evidence here is really quite compelling. Study after study shows significant improvements in cardiovascular health. It can even help manage conditions like hypertension, high blood pressure. And we also see a noticeable drop in resting heart rate over time, which is a really good sign of a more efficient, healthier heart.
Okay, lower resting heart rate. What about oxygen, how well our body uses it?
That's another key area. HIIT is great for increasing your total oxygenation capacity, sometimes called VO2 max. Basically how effectively your body can take in and use oxygen during exercise.
And how quickly do you see these kinds of changes?
What was really encouraging is that you can start seeing measurable improvements within just about a month of doing HIIT consistently.
Only a month. Wow.
Yeah, it's not something that requires years and years. You can feel and measure a difference relatively quickly.
That's motivating, especially if you feel like you're starting from square one. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Metabolism. We hear that word all the time. Metabolic health. Why is HIIT so good here?
Right. So first, it helps to understand something called metabolic syndrome. It's not one disease, but a cluster of risk factors.
Like what?
Things like high blood pressure, high blood sugar, unhealthy cholesterol levels, maybe extra fat around the waist. Having several of these together really ups your risk for serious problems.
Serious problem.
Like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Heart attacks, strokes.
Okay, so metabolic syndrome is bad news. How does HIIT fight back?
Well, one of the primary ways is by decreasing insulin resistance. Insulin is that hormone, like a key, that lets sugar, glucose from your blood into your cells for energy. If you're resistant, the key doesn't work so well. Your body needs more insulin to get the sugar in, and blood sugar levels can rise. HIIT makes your cells more sensitive to insulin.
So the key works better.
Exactly. Better insulin sensitivity means your body handles blood sugar more effectively. And interestingly, even just one session, one short HIIT workout can actually lower blood glucose levels measurably right afterwards.
Really? Just one workout?
Yeah, it has a pretty immediate effect on how your body processes sugar. It's quite powerful for, potentially preventing or managing diabetes.
Okay, that's a big one. What about our baseline calorie burn, the basal metabolic rate?
Ah, yes. This is another really interesting part. HIIT can actually give your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, a bit of a boost.
And BMR is just the calories we burn doing nothing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the energy your body uses just for basic functions. Breathing, circulation, keeping your organs working when you're completely at rest.
Why is boosting that important?
Well, think about, a teenager who seems to eat constantly and stay slim versus maybe someone in their 60s who finds it much harder to manage their weight.
Right. Metabolism slows down.
A big part of that difference is often their BMR. Now, obviously, HIT can't turn you back into a teenager,
Huh. Unfortunately.
unfortunately. But it can help nudge that resting metabolism slightly higher. A higher BMR means you burn more calories around the clock, even when you're sleeping or sitting.
So it's not just the calories burned during the 15 minutes.
Exactly. It's this lingering effect.
Yeah.
It helps with weight management, certainly, but it's also just a sign of your body's overall kind of metabolic engine running a bit more efficiently.
That makes sense. Okay, you said something earlier that really caught my ear. You hinted the cognitive benefits might be the most important.
I did, yeah. And it sounds surprising, maybe, but the research here is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
HIIT, particularly if you do it in the morning, seems to trigger a significant increase in the production of neurotrophins in the brain.
Neurotrophins, what are they?
Think of them like miracle grow for your brain cells. They're proteins that are absolutely crucial for neurogenesis.
Neurogenesis,
Mhm.
creating new brain cells.
Precisely. Promoting the growth and survival of new neurons. And this is incredibly important for brain health, especially when we think about preventing cognitive decline and various forms of dementia.
Wow, so short bursts of intense exercise could actually help ward off dementia.
The potential is definitely there. It's acting like this powerful, natural brain booster. But it's not just about prevention.
What else?
Studies also show improvements in current cognitive functions, things like attention span, focus, and even memory, both short-term working memory and long-term recall.
That's amazing. So wait, how does this stack up against like doing Sudoku or using those brain training apps?
That's where it gets really mind-blowing, actually. Some research suggests that HIIT might be more effective for boosting these cognitive functions than doing dedicated cognitive exercises like puzzles or memory games.
Get out. More effective than brain games.
It appears so, yeah. It seems that the physiological stress and recovery cycle of HIIT triggers changes in the brain blood flow, those neurotrophins that have a uniquely powerful effect on cognition.
That is incredible. That physical exertion has such a direct brain benefit. Okay, I'm sold. This sounds fantastic. How do people actually do this at home? Is it complicated?
Not at all. And that's really the best part. You don't need fancy gym equipment or complex routines. Honestly, there isn't strong scientific proof saying one specific HIIT exercise is way better than another.
So it doesn't matter if I do burpees or run in place.
The key factor isn't what you do so much as how you do it. It's about reaching that high intensity during the work interval.
That maximum effort we talked about.
Exactly. So the advice is usually pick exercises you find, well, maybe not enjoyable at maximum effort, but ones you can do and that allow you to push yourself to your absolute limit, that 100% feeling for that 1-minute burst.
Okay, give us some concrete examples people could try.
Sure. Sprinting on the spot as fast as you can, jumping jacks, but like explosive speed if you have a stationary bike. Cycling furiously. Burpees are a classic.
Yeah.
Even just running up and down stairs if you have them.
Yeah.
Anything that gets your heart pounding and makes you feel like you absolutely have to stop after that minute.
Right, pushes your personal limit.
Yes. And then equally vital, that full minute of rest. Like really stop. Walk slowly, catch your breath, aim for near zero effort. Let your body start to recover before you hit it again.
Push hard, rest completely. Got it.
Huh.
Okay, last big question maybe. Why is this approach, this short, sharp shock, considered more efficient or even better by some than, say, going for a steady 30-minute jog?
Yeah, good question. It really boils down to the metabolic response after the exercise finishes.
Okay.
So with steady-state cardio, like jogging, you burn a good number of calories while you're doing it, absolutely. But once you stop, your metabolism, your calorie burning rate, tends to return to your normal resting baseline pretty quickly.
Makes sense. You stop running, the extra burn stops soon after.
Right. But HII is different. Because those intervals are so intense, they create a bigger metabolic disturbance, if you like. Your body has to work harder after the workout to recover and get back to normal.
Is this the afterburn effect I've heard about?
That's exactly it. The technical term is EPCI, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Your body keeps using more oxygen, and therefore burning more calories for a period after you finish the HIIT session.
So I could be sitting on the sofa later and still be burning slightly more calories because I did HII that morning.
That's the concept, yeah. The hormonal changes, the muscle repair, replenishing energy stores, it all requires extra energy.
How much extra are we talking? Is it significant?
It varies, of course, depending on the person and the intensity of the workout, but some studies estimate it could be an extra, say, zero point 0.3 or zero point 0.4 calories per minute at rest.
Doesn't sound like much per minute.
Per minute, no. But think about that over hours. Over the course of a whole day, that could add up to potentially an extra 500 or 600 calories burned.
Whoa, okay, that's significant. Just from 15 minutes of work.
Well, from a body's recovery from that 15 minutes of intense work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not just the time saved during the exercise itself, it's this extended metabolic benefit afterwards.
That really is a game changer, thinking about time commitment versus the payoff.
It is.
Oh.
And really, when you put it all together, the heart health, the metabolic improvements, the cognitive boost, the time efficiency, the afterburn, the ultimate goal, the biggest outcome, is just helping your body function better in almost every way.
So wrapping this up then, we've sort of unpacked how this very time-friendly method, HIT, packs a really powerful punch across the board for health. And understanding the basics, how it works, and how simple it can be to do at home.
Well, it feels like something genuinely achievable that could make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And maybe that leads to a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. Knowing all this, the potential benefits for your heart, your metabolism, even your brain sharpness, how could just these small, intense bursts of activity fit into your life?
Yeah. What part of your health, or maybe your day-to-day mental clarity, do you think could benefit the most if you carved out just those few minutes for HIA? Something to think about.